Hello, and welcome to Sideways. Normally, in this introduction, I'll have made myself a few notes to remind myself to tell you all the different things that are in the episode. But this week, I've forgotten to do that because I've got other things on my mind. I've got to make a birthday cake and various other things. So what I will tell you is that this week we're talking about normality and what a myth it is, and how when people say, I just want to feel normal, quite often they mean they just don't want to feel like this anymore. I'll leave you to listen to the birds for a few moments. What is normal?
Good morning.
Good morning. Changing your glasses?
Yeah, I have to change them for further distance and or close up. So
I thought it was perhaps to make me look better.
I need more than glasses for that. But yeah, I'm not in the mood for your fripperies this morning.
Oh, why? What's happened?
Nothing. Well, no, nothing. My mouse stopped working just a minute ago. I got all bad tempered about it. I was just going to put some new batteries in it, and I haven't got any.
Is it like was it like dropping a teaspoon on the floor?
Well, I'd like to think I'm sort of past that. Yeah, that sort of reaction. So yeah, it just.
Well, to be honest, getting angry about not having some batteries sounds as if it's kind of pretty similar.
No, well, no, because I'll just go and get some. I'm all right. That was many years ago when I was still in the madness. But
you should have one of those. You should have a wired mouse, and it wouldn't run out of batteries, would it?
No, I suppose not. But they're a little bit more constraining, aren't they?
I'm just thinking about as you saying that has made me think about. I suspect we've all got those things, haven't we? Little things that really frustrate us when they don't go the way that we want them to.
Yeah, we have. In fact, I've got one sort of on my gratitude list. Actually,
have you?
Yeah, which is an offspin of what you're saying there. So we can. I'll come back to that later.
One of the things that really grinds my gears is next door's cat shitting in my garden.
That's just nature.
Yeah, that's exactly my point, because I always tell myself that. I think they're not doing it deliberately to disrespect me. They're just cats. I find it so frustrating and annoying, especially when Nelly goes out there and eats it.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
Sorry if you're eating your tea while you're listening to this.
I'll be
like
more
you're not having sausages.
It'd be more disgusting if you said you went out and ate it. But
it'd also be a bit weird, wouldn't it?
Very weird. It wouldn't be normal, would it?
That's as segues go. That is one of your better top 5.
Well, yeah, I just had to wait for you to line me up on that, because that's what I wanted to talk about this week. In fact, well, my notes heading is what is normal, because it's a bit of an open-ended subject, but we'll come on to that.
All right, good.
But it was an idea. I do remember we came up with it really when we were chatting the other day. We were walking through the vineyard with the dogs and your daughter.
Yeah.
And then we just suddenly started talking about it. I don't know why, or I don't know how we got onto that particular discussion, but it got me thinking then, yeah, that's sort of strange, because it comes up a lot in groups really, where people say, or refer to people who can drink normally.
Yeah, I think we were talking about how, yes, because you'd made that point, and I think I'd said that over the years I've experienced a lot of people saying, I just want to feel normal.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the desire to feel normal. I think, or expressing that it's a phrase that is used again, is often used in groups, because you feel so crap when you first go into recovery, you're first struggling, and your normal at that point is just to stop shaking really, and to stop throwing up first thing in the morning, and that. So it's not a great deal to ask, but it is just this desire not to feel as you're feeling at that moment. I think that's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, I think absolutely. Well, that's it. I don't think we need to go any further.
That's it.
When people say they want to feel normal, what they're really saying is, I don't want to feel what I feel like at the moment.
We'll leave it there, shall we?
That's very pithy, very, very perceptive. And anyway, thanks for listening this week, and we'll see you again next week.
We'll go on to a gratitude list. No, before we start, and there's I wanted to read out a little extract from an article that I was reading on a Facebook group that I subscribe to called, it's called Grim Crimes and Unfortunate Events of Historic Maidstone and Other Kent Places. It's not a snappy title, is it?
No, yeah.
I think this little story, it illustrates the dangers of drinking quite vividly, but it's the quaint language used there that almost gives it a comic edge. It was from the local news on the 27th of April, 1858. All right, so it's over 160 years ago, and it concerns the landlady of the pub called the First and Last in Bower Place in Maidstone. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember it. Is it?
Yeah,
I've got a feeling it's still open, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly right. I think it is, and so it was opened in 1857. So this lady, she was the first landlady in, effectively. So yeah, it's been, and it's still, yeah. When I googled it, it's still up and running for such a small little backstreet pub. I was amazed that it was still operating.
You'll have been there, I presume.
Of course, yeah. But many years ago, it wasn't a place I often frequented, but I do recall going in there. Yeah. And when it first opened back in 1857, I didn't go in there then. I'm not quite that old, so I don't remember this landlady.
You remember the darts team in that year, as I recall.
It was, in fact, it was called, and it's quite ironic this, but it was when it was first opened, it was called the Cradle and Coffin. Not a great and enticing name, is it, to get you in there, but perhaps it reflects what alcohol does to you. But that's another story.
It also explains the First and Last, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. It's another way of putting it, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, crikey, this is very informative. It
is, isn't it? But the extract I want to read out to you as follows. And I need to read it verbatim, really, because it is the quaint language, as I said. So it goes like this. An inquest was held on the 22nd of April before the coroner, Mr. T. Kipping, and a jury at the First and Last, Bower Place, upon the body of Mrs. Jane Hodges, the landlady of the house, whose death occurred that same morning under somewhat singular circumstances. Which, again, I love that. I don't know what that particularly means, but I like the phrase. But what struck me there is that the inquest was held the next day in the pub with the coroner and a jury. I mean, it can't be a jury in a strict sense, I often thought, as we see.
And a packet of pork scratchings.
Yeah, they didn't mess about on this occasion. They're straight in there, sort this one out.
Yeah.
It seemed that at about 12 o'clock on the previous night, the deceased went to bed with her niece in a room at the front of the house. From the evidence adduced, which again, I like that word, she was intoxicated, being addicted to habits of intemperance. I remember being that. It's a great phrase, isn't it?
You were addicted to habits of intemperance, weren't you?
I was, for a long time, yeah. And it goes on to say, but after talking to herself a little while, I remember doing that as well, as she was accustomed to do, she apparently fell asleep. At about 1 o'clock, Mrs. Cooper, the wife of a gardener living next door, obviously she had no identity herself, she was just known as the wife of a gardener, she heard the window of the deceased's bedroom open, and immediately afterwards a fall, succeeded by cries for assistance. On looking out, Mrs. Cooper saw the deceased lying on her back on the edge of the pavement. That sounds painful, doesn't it? Oh, yeah.
So she thrown herself out of the window?
Well, it goes on to say the distance she fell was about 10 to 12 feet, and the sill of the window only about 18 inches from the floor. So it's one of those old houses where the windowsill was really low. They concluded that the deceased met with her death accidentally whilst in a state of intoxication. So they probably concluded she wasn't normal, especially all that talking to herself and
throwing herself out of windows in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Bizarre, but I thought, that's got a good little story that shows you where drinking takes you, mate.
Yeah. So what your key message there is: if you get on the wrong side of drink, you'll end up throwing yourself out of the window in the middle of the night,
or falling out the window by mistake, or being pushed by your niece. She was apparently still asleep. They couldn't wake her up. They was banging on the door and she was asleep. She was in the same room, so I don't know what happened.
She's probably pissed as well, wasn't she?
Probably. Yeah, they're probably necking a few together, yeah. Living in a pub.
Do you think maybe she opened the window to get a bit of air and just tumbled out?
May have been. may have been, but I think I might go up there and have lay a little wreath down as in remembrance of poor Mrs. Jane Hodges. It's terrible, isn't it?
Yeah, well, to be honest, that would not be normal behaviour either.
That wouldn't be normal, no, especially this long after the occasion. But it does lead nicely on from what we're talking about, that little story, and from last week's episode, really, regarding a search for an identity. Because I think with normality, I don't know how you felt, but in adolescence, we often strive, don't we, to be not like everyone else. We almost like to try and shirk being normal. Do you remember the people at school? I don't know if you found it. Some of the kids at school would almost get bullied if they were too normal. They used to call them normal, didn't they? In a sort of pejorative phrase.
Mm. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Because in adolescence, I think what we're actually trying to do is we're trying to be different and belong.
It is.
And that's quite a difficult balance to strike. We want to be unique enough so that we are kind of noticed, but not so unique that we stand out and are ostracised and picked on.
You're right. You want to be in the cool gang, really, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, I was bullied, as you know.
Not for being normal, though, was it?
Well, no, actually, for being abnormal because I was overweight.
Oh, right. I want to come on to that.
They didn't call me Norman Normal. They called me Pillsbury Doughboy.
That's terrible, mate. I feel for you.
Yeah, why are you laughing then?
I don't know. Even though I've heard it before, it still makes me chuckle slightly. You wouldn't know that now, mate, would you?
No. I'm not carrying that sort of heft these days. It's true.
But the words normal and abnormal, I want to come on to those because I don't think they're particularly useful. Definition. A quick definition of normal, because again, it's quite tricky. The research I found quite tough this week, so I'm just going to throw in a few quotes and we discuss them really. But the definition, the main definition I've found that we can understand really is conforming to a type, standard or regular pattern, characterized by that which is considered usual, typical or routine.
I think therein lies the reason why none of us can ever consider ourselves normal.
Exactly. Because it can be argued, and just going back to what we were saying earlier on there, that normal or abnormal can't be defined as, because, that changes for everyone, and it changes a lot, through your culture, doesn't it? Or your religion or your race or whatever. Each separate person or each separate sector of society has its own idea of normal. And each person has their own idea of normal. So it's really, really tough to define it and to pin that down. And once you find you can't define it, is the word abnormal of any use any longer?
Yeah, I think when I think about it, I think that I probably would use the word normal in association or in relation to inanimate stuff in my life. So, I might say, oh, this is what I normally do, or I normally go there. But I don't think I would ever use it as part of a description about a person, certainly not myself.
Again, going back to perhaps our adolescence, we all know people who would self-proclaim themselves as being crazy or, and almost enjoy being a little bit weird, or they thought they were. It was almost looking for other people's perception of them, because they saw themselves as a bit crazy and a bit weird. Do you remember, it was like, it just reminds me of Rick on The Young Ones, when he used to go around saying, we're all crazy here, you go in our house. And you think, if you have to say it, it probably means it isn't true.
But when you see that sort of behaviour in people, I mean, that's it's a form of acting out, isn't it? You're behaving in such a way that you want to be noticed, or want something to be noticed about yourself, which actually, most of the time suggests deep insecurity. If I had a chance to get Rick from The Young Ones on the couch, I think you'd find there'd probably be some significant problems with self-esteem there.
But do you think, those phrases, they've sort of normal and abnormal, those words, they carry a lot of baggage with them, don't they, really? It's not something which, again, we can really define because it's different for each person.
Yeah, I don't know how you feel about it. I'd be interested to know, but I think normal, and by definition, therefore abnormal, it's almost a word that when I hear it, I think I almost ignore it. To me, it's such a pointless word, I think what happens is when I hear it, it points me towards something else. I think there's almost an instinctive, okay, you've put the word normal in there. What do you actually mean? So I can't think of any other words that seem so without meaning.
It's woolly, isn't it? And it depends upon your perception of a certain set of circumstances that is different for the next person. And a quote that I've came across which illustrates this really is, normal is an illusion. What is normal for the spider is chaos for the fly. And it sort of sums that up, doesn't it?
I can't remember what the word you used was, but your point was that normal is just a sort of fluffy, it's too broad a term.
Yeah.
It reminds me of woolly.
I think it was woolly.
Yes,
yeah.
like a sheep.
Like a hat. Yes.
Like a hat.
Yeah.
I like a woolly hat. It reminds me of when you do a kind of check-in in group therapy. You go around the group, excuse me, you go around the group and you ask people to think of a word that describes how they're feeling today. And the only rule is that you can't say okay or fine.
Yeah.
And that's like normal.
It is, isn't
I
it?
put normal in that same bracket. It's like, doesn't say anything.
How
are you feeling? I'm feeling normal. Well, that's not telling me anything. What is normal? Is that happy? Are you normally sad? What is it? So I think that's exactly it. It's so broad as to be meaningless.
Yeah, you're right. And I hadn't thought of it in those terms, but it does fit into that category of words used in group therapy, which you are banned from. I've sat in many of those sort of groups, and you're exactly right.
What word would you use this morning?
I'd feel content.
Oh, nice. Content's a good one.
I'm happy with that. Yeah. Anyway, okay. Well, getting back. Yeah, there's some more quotes I just want to throw in here. The first one, which we've already discussed, really. It's they use the word normalcy in here rather than just being normal. Normalcy is an illusion. Again, each person is utterly unique. Yeah. Because the next quote I've got is from Van Gogh. Now, if there's a person that was is entitled to tell you what's normal and what isn't, it's the lad Gough. And he looks at it slightly differently. He says normality is a paved road. It's comfortable to walk on, but no flowers grow on it.
Lovely. Very artistic. Nice artistic metaphor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It's actually, I think in a way, I don't suppose he meant this when he coined that phrase, but in that phrase is a suggestion of calling yourself normal or pursuing a life of normality is like it lacks imagination, doesn't it?
Boring. I think that's what he's. Yeah, that's what I got from it. Yeah.
Yeah. Even if you find yourself saying, "I don't want to feel like this. I want to feel normal." You're not going to find whatever normal is because you haven't defined for yourself what it actually is. What do you want to be? You want to live somewhere different? Do you want to feel this or that or something else?
Exactly right. And an expansion of that, which is from an uncredited quote, really, but it says that normal is not something to aspire to. It's something to get away from, which again is really what Van Gogh is saying there, isn't it? Not trying to be normal. Don't bother to that. Isn't it? You're not going to experience any joy. We're just sitting in that comfortable middle zone.
But you can't get there anyway because it doesn't. There's no. I mean, what the question, what is normal? It's impossible to answer it.
It is. I headed it up my notes and I've did all my research to come to the end of it, and I still haven't answered the question because there isn't.
No, there isn't one.
There isn't a way of defining it properly.
I can tell you're not normal. That's for sure.
Thank you. It depends how I think I'm very normal, and that's. I think again, there's different people's perceptions of the same set of circumstances. But there's an interesting quote I come across, which says, "Normal is the average of deviance." And I thought,
hang on.
I know, I couldn't really work that one out, but I quite liked it.
Normal is the average of deviance, so it's like you get lots of deviant behaviours. And if you were able to average them, that would be normality.
Yeah.
But surely, without being a pedant, I am a pedant, but surely you don't need the word deviant in there, do you? Why don't you just say normal is the average of behaviour?
I don't know. It slants it towards deviance being bad behaviour, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, I can tell you, it seems to me that the reason that quote is unattributed is because it's nonsense.
Even though if you take all the bad things, all the bad behavioural traits, you take the average of those, that's normal.
Yeah, why don't you take all the good behaviours and average them?
Oh, exactly. Yeah, they're not counted as deviant. I reckon the person that made that quote up, he's trying to hide something, don't you? Do you remember, like, during COVID?
Yeah.
We constantly it was on the news every day, wasn't it? And looking at the figures, and I remember them saying several times during, probably after it had been around for 2 or 3 months, we've got to work towards getting back to a new normal.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking at the time, I'm not sure I'm comfortable with that phrase. It's a changing landscape for sure, but I think normality is therefore it evolves as well, doesn't it?
Mm. Well, actually, as it's turned out, we didn't get to a new normal, did we?
Not really.
Actually, there's been a huge amount of angst in people because they, in many cases, have been kind of dragged back to too much of a version of what they had before.
Yeah.
So it's actually an old normal.
It is an old normal, yeah. A worse version, though,
yeah,
perhaps.
An old normal on top of a cost of living crisis and a war in Europe and still having COVID floating about.
That is a good point, actually. You could get over COVID and there's always something else coming along, isn't there, to take its place.
Yeah, that's why normal doesn't exist.
Exactly right. No, I agree.
We're in an ever-changing landscape, aren't we?
We are.
Who is it said you can never put your foot in the same river twice?
I don't know that quote.
See, that's better. That's a better description of life. It's true,
I don't
isn't
understand it.
Well, the river's constantly changing.
Oh, right. Oh, I see.
So if you put your foot in the river in the same place today as you put your foot in the river yesterday, it won't be the same river, will it?
Well, because I used to put my feet in the River Len and get sticklebacks out as a kid. And I went down there several times, so I did put my feet in the same river.
Not the same river,
water was different.
Exactly.
The water was different.
So it's not the same river then, is it? Because the river is, part of the river is the water.
In fact, they ended up building a shopping centre over the top of the River Len, so I can't go and catch sticklebacks down there anymore anyway.
I can remember doing that with a little jam jar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of those little poxy little nylon nets.
Yeah, we did.
A bamboo cane.
Exactly. But the River Len used to run bang through the centre of Maidstone there, didn't it?
Yeah. You can still find bits of it, can't you? There's a bit that still runs under Square Hill.
Yeah. Yeah, you can find it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Fancy going down there?
Sorry?
Fancy going down there, see if we can find some sticklebacks.
Yeah, why not? I suspect the river isn't as quite as pure as it used to be.
It won't feel like those hot summer days in the 1970s, that's for sure.
No, it won't. It'll be a less heady experience, you're right.
Well, certainly for you, it would be less heady than some of your experiences.
Down in the Maidstone Town Centre. Yeah, so, I mean, do you think that people can expend this trying to get back to a normal or some sort of normality? People seem to expend way too much energy on it when they think there's something you've got to try and achieve to get back to a place, rather than trying just being themselves and readjusting in their own mind what normal is and embracing who they are and thinking, this is it, this is okay, am I all right with this?
Yeah, I think the first kind of mistake we make is the idea that we can go back to anything. You can't go back to anything, can you? You can only go forward. You might go forward to something that is in some way, representative of something that you experienced in the past, but you're not going back to it. That's impossible. I think actually we create for ourselves a lot of mental anguish with this kind of desire to go back. And I'll give you an example of that. When people have difficulty in their relationships, and if a relationship breaks up or something, and then two people are apart, and then they want to get back together, and they just want to get back to the way things were. Well, it's never going to happen.
Never does.
The only way you're going to kind of create something is to say, okay, well, what was there is gone. Now we need to go forward and create something new. So I think the whole kind of concept, the whole idea of going backwards to something, A, is impossible, and B, is fraught with emotional disappointment.
True. No, very wise words. Very wise words. We did one on time travelling, didn't we? Sort of having this desire to go back to how circumstances once were. Yeah, we did it a long time ago, didn't we?
I think you, when you put it on Facebook, you had a picture of Tom Baker as Doctor Who.
I don't know. I may have done.
Yeah,
Might have done. I can't remember now.
You did. I'm going to go back and look. No, I'll have to go forward and look, won't I?
Go for Anyway, that's sort of me, but I just wanted to sort of round this up. The last quote I wanted to throw in really was that if you are always trying to be normal, you will never know just how amazing you can be.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's it. Struggling in the right way, or moving in the right way, I should say. Struggling to get to this, some sort of normality can be constraining.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whoever said that originally meant, but the meaning I take from it is in that struggle to conform all the time, in the struggle, as many of us do, the struggle to be the person that we think other people expect us to be, we are in grave danger of losing a lot of the most valuable and precious aspects of ourselves.
A very good interpretation. I'm happy with that, which is pretty much in line with what I was thinking when I was researching and writing that down.
I think as we've identified before, it appears, and we may be exceptions, but I doubt that we are. As you get older, it seems as if it becomes easier to just be yourself. You know, I think you tend to care less what other people think as we get older.
Yeah.
And so my message to anybody listening to this is you don't have to wait until you're older.
Start it now. Exactly
Start
right.
it now. Doesn't matter how old you are. You know, walk your own path. You almost used the word journey then.
Oh, no, you struggled there, didn't you? Well, it's a phrase we often use in groups when people are coming into groups at a fairly tender age. Yeah. And we all say, start it as soon as you can. Yeah, exactly. So that's about it, really. I mean, the last bit on there really just circles back to what we're saying right at the beginning. You know, when you're in addiction and you want to get back to normal, that normal is just not feeling ill. Not being so drunk or high that you can hardly stand up, because that's not normal, is it? In most people's eyes. And when you're in the throes of addiction, that is your normal state. But then you're going into recovery. You want to strive to get back to normality, which in your mind is just not being ill. It's a small ask, but it's a difficult place to get to.
Yeah. So if you just started in recovery and your desire is to get back to normal, don't worry about getting back to normal. Get forward to somewhere that you can actually articulate. What do you want your life to look like? Yeah. How do you want to feel? What is it you feel you need in order to help you feel like that? Concentrate on getting there. Don't worry about going back, because you can't.
Good. That's a good way to wind this up, I think.
I like winding you up.
You wind me up all the time. Just looking at you on the screen now, that's enough. Anyway, that's about it. I wanted to go on to, unless there's anything else you wanted to add at this point.
No.
It's about the gratitude lists, really.
Okay. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go on then.
I don't think I've had this one, which is odd, really. And it is one of those things that that I suppose you expect to pop up on a gratitude list, and probably the sort of thing that people put on without really thinking about it. But this is a genuine addition, and it's friends. Now, I am someone who, for reasons that we haven't got time to go into, I don't have many friends, but the friends that I've got, I've had for many, many years. Yeah. And so there's this kind of balance between there are not a great number of them, but they're very precious to me. And I thought about it this week, so I went out with Adam actually the other night, which is the first time we've been out for a couple of years because of lockdown and various other things. And it's just nice, isn't it, to spend some time with someone that you've known for years, that you don't have to try too hard with, that kind of knows a lot about you. You know, there's something very kind of precious, valuable, comforting about that. So
there is, and you tend to find those sort of people, you just fall straight back into a conversation. It's almost like you haven't seen Adam perhaps for a couple of years, but that you fall. There's no break, is there? You go straight back into where you were.
No, that's right.
And I think true friends, you can do that with. You can not see them for a number of years, but as soon as you meet up, it's as if you'd never been apart.
Yeah, and I had a curry and some beer.
And that would have been exactly how you and Adam always used to behave. So
yeah, although these days I drink much less beer than I would have drunk in the past.
Right, yeah. Yeah, so that was your normal, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Beer and a curry.
It was John in the album used to call me 7 day a week man, didn't he?
He did, yeah. It's bizarre that I ended up with a problem and you didn't.
Yeah. Oh well, there we go. That just shows you what a fallacy normal is.
That's it. That's illustrated it perfectly, isn't it?
Okay.
So what I put on my gratitude list, and going back to what you're saying earlier on about, I was complaining about my mouse not working. I got a new router for my broadband this week, and it worked straight away. And I was really grateful for that. I'd been
That's
into, you know, when
unusual.
yeah, exactly. I was thinking that this is going to be all sorts of issues and all sorts of ag. I've stayed with the same provider, which probably helped. It's just that I don't know about you, but you get to an end of a contract and I always forget to go back and think, oh, I better sort with this one out, because you go back onto a sort of normal tariff and end up with paying way too much. So I'd left it a few months and I'd had a couple of days off of work, so I thought I'll get onto this. So I managed to reduce the amount I'm paying out each month. And they said, oh, you've got an old router, so send you a new router. And I was dreading it. I thought, because you get a new password and everything, and it's got a new name, and so you've got to go around and change all the details on your computer and your telly and your VR headset, obviously. And so, but it all worked straight away. First time, I didn't make any mistakes in any of the password. You know how often you put a password in, and you get it wrong. There's something slightly wrong on it, and they went straight away. It's more difficult with the VR headset because you really need someone to read it out to you, because once you've got the headset on, you can't see the little password you've written down. So I had to do sort of plug in a couple of numbers and quickly look at it, take the headset off, have a look, and remember it and go back in. And I still did it first time. I was absolutely amazed. So I was very grateful for that.
I'd like to have seen you doing that, because that would have been quite comical, I suspect. You're right, though, what you say about some contracts running out, and then if you don't deal with them, they fleece you. And I'll tell you what the worst companies for that are. Car breakdown insurance.
Oh, yes.
The AA, every year they send me a renewal letter, and it's always, the price has always gone up astronomically. I go onto their website and check what it would cost me if I was a new customer. I ring them up and I say, it would cost me this if I was a new customer. They say, yeah, but you're not a new customer. I say, that's all right. Then I'll leave now and I'll join again tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then they give me a discount. What a total waste of time. It's ridiculous.
It is. It is. And it does annoy me that Sky didn't get in touch with me and say, look, there's a better tariff available for you now. You've got an old router. It can upgrade your line and all this. No, it just left me carrying on paying the old amount. Yeah,
this is turning into a consumer program now, isn't it?
I'm going to be Martin Lewis before I know what's going on.
You're more like Leona Lewis.
Bleeding heart, that's for sure, right now.
Right.
That's it, really. Spotify search.
Yeah, again, hang on. Spotify search. What normal? I expect did you do something like Common People or something by Pulp?
No.
No.
It's pretty un-PC, really, because it's called Normal Chicks.
Oh, that is un-PC.
By a group called Bowling for Soup, which is...
slightly sexist.
You
haven't been looking at pornography on the benches of the Commons.
Isn't that what a disgrace? If our MPs couldn't get any more lower down in the esteem of the general public, they've just surpassed it now by watching porn on their phones whilst in the House of Commons. That's a disgrace.
How would you deal with someone in group who was looking at pornography?
Yeah, don't do that. That's not good, is it? Well, the phones always have to go. The phones are always turned off anyway at the start of the meeting, so it wouldn't occur. But,
see, that's what they should do in the House of Commons. They should take MPs' phones, because they can't be trusted, like they do with kids at school, which they probably don't even do.
Yeah, put them all in a box, and then the Speaker of the House of Commons give it back as they go out at the end.
Yeah. They should have their stuff confiscated if they're using it during the speeches, shouldn't they?
Yeah, the Speaker should throw a board rubber at them. Yeah. So that's it, mate. Apart from bands that we like but have never purchased any of their material.
Yeah, I got a good one this week. Go on, you go first this week. I always go first.
Thin Lizzy.
You've got no Thin Lizzy?
No.
That surprises me, to be honest.
Yeah, it surprised me when I thought about it. I thought, I've always liked them. And again, very, very good live, but never bought any of their stuff.
Who's Phil Lynnett's father-in-law?
It was Leslie Crowther.
Yeah, it's good, that, isn't it? It's
Off
a good
of
bit of trivia.
Crackerjack.
Yeah. Good bit of trivia. Anyway, I've got, on my list this week, I've got Radiohead.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
So Radiohead, I'm quite surprised I haven't got any Radiohead.
I'm surprised you haven't got any Radiohead. I thought they'd have been up your street. Perhaps a little bit too popular, perhaps.
I don't know if they are, because actually they're quite hip popular, aren't they? Very, very popular. I suppose so. But still quite cool.
Yeah, but unlike Coldplay.
Unlike Coldplay,
which are very
Coldplay either.
No, I haven't got any Coldplay. But then again, I don't particularly like them, so it doesn't fall into that category.
Well, anyway, there we are. So
we'll wrap it up, shall we?
All right.
Okay, mate. Well, I'll speak to you soon.
See you next time.
Laters.
Bye. Sideways was created by Graham Landy and Martin Pankhurst. If you want to read more about our work or sort through the extensive archive of past episodes, just visit grahamlandywellbeing.co.uk/sideways-podcast. You can follow us on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram at Sideways Podcast, and you can email us if you have a question or if there's something you'd like us to cover. But most of all, we want to tell you how grateful we are that you come and listen, and we ask that if you've enjoyed what you've heard, that you spread the word. And we'll see you next week.